It is Tuesday, November 22nd. Wow. And we are in the middle of IAE. Hi, I'm Mike. I'm with ILHS, and I'm here with my cohorts. And let them introduce themselves.
Joe?
Well, I am Void Walker Joe. I have a an org named the Lost Suli, and we've been doing this podcast. It's fairly new. We got a new channel. We'll have a link in the description below for that, so you guys check that out. And off to you there, Shadow Spectre.
Okay, I'm Shadow Spectre 11, and I am org leader for the Snowbirds. And I'm starting up a new fighter wing and escort wing called the Warbirds that will be activated. Well, it's activated and will be hopefully going live for 318. Um, we're doing this for the Snowbirds meeting room, the new channel that was started uh, less than a week ago. And hopefully you'll tune in, subscribe, and see what we've got to say.
And don't forget to
Okay.
hit that. And don't forget to hit that like, and don't forget to hit the little dingy bell so that way you get notified when we bring these up. Don't
Right.
forget that.
Because our opinions really
Right.
matter. Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, they do. They do. I don't care what anybody says. Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
even
Mike,
if
take it away.
even if yeah, even if anything, hey, at least somebody can gain some knowledge from us, and that's what's important. So, well, we're in the middle of IAE, guys. It's to me, it's kind of been fun. I've got to introduce a few new folks to the game, and they got real awe-inspired, and it reminded me of when I joined. So they, you know, when you see some of your first real big ships, and you're like, "That's really that big?" Yeah, it's really that big, and you can walk in it too. It really surprises them. These were guys
Yeah.
from like X4 Reunion, some guys from Elite Dangerous, and some guys from like No Man's Sky. No, not a dog in those games at all. Those have their own abilities and stuff like that. But if there's anything that I can argue that Star Citizen does very well, that's the ships. And that's what IAE is about, is the ships. It's a mass ship sale event from like what November 18th all the way to basically December 1st, effectively, in that time range.
Yeah.
So um we've had since we've been in a few days, let's kind of reintroduce ourselves to the manufacturers. So we have Drake Interplanetary, Origin Jumpworks, Aegis Dynamics, Aopoa, Banu, Asperia, Gattac, Anvil, Argo, Consolidated Outlands, Kruger, Greycat, Crusaders, Tumbrel, Misk, Robert Space Industries, and those are our main manufacturers of the game. In fact, is all you get in the game is from those guys. Um, so November 18th started with Drake, and the long-awaited Drake Corsair debuted. I've seen this polarizing stance. Well, not a well, I would say there's three categories of people who look at this ship. Um, they are the hardcore lovers of it. There are the people like myself, and there's people like, why does this ship exist? And it's kind of an interesting dichotomy because there's some people on there that's like, oh, I want to fly that for a while. No, there's people that I want that, and then there's people like, I don't feel like I want to keep it, and then there's people like that ship sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Depends
on
on what
the
you want to do
middle.
in game.
Yeah, exactly. That's the primary thing I think people have to remember is what are you doing in the game? What do you want to do? That's the most important thing. Then you get the ship that fits your needs. That's how
Yes.
you do that. So the
Mm-hmm.
Corsair, what is it? It's an expedition ship. It's forward-facing guns. It has a 72 SCU cargo space. It's got six gunner pilot gunner guns, six
Mm-hmm.
pilot guns. It's got a rear mounted on the top remote turret. It's got two turrets on the side that can face somewhat back and all the way forward. and it's very famous for its asymmetrical wing design, and it does sport a feature that I absolutely love, and that is the elevator going from the ground to the top. Yes, guys,
Yes.
you can now get on top of that ship and repair it once 318 comes around with salvage and repair.
But there's
So,
one thing. Can I interject 1 second? One thing that kind of is very, very special about that ship. From what I hear, and I don't know if this is true because I haven't tested it, where you can fire a missile from the remote turret and it will lock on a target in the rear. I don't know if that's true. I want to try that.
hmm,
I don't know.
that I don't know.
I don't
So,
know if it's true.
I haven't got to
so
fly it
that's
too much, so we're gonna have to try it out.
Yeah.
yeah, we can now. If for those who don't remember, several patches back, missile mode was implemented into the game. I haven't used it since. which is where the co-pilot was able to fire a missile instead of um, the pilot. Now
Mhm.
I don't remember. Is this still in the game or was this removed?
I
Or
don't
was
know.
this
I don't think that
is
was
this
ever actually put in.
I remember doing it. But I had to be in the constellation to do it. It might have been in the PTU too.
It might have been. See, I might not remember it just because it was probably around the time when I kind of stopped playing for a little bit. It's probably when
Yeah,
my break
that's fair.
happened.
Yeah. Or I
But you
could be
don't have control
misremembering.
over them now. I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah. It's just been I felt like I got run under the rug. So yeah, I'm in the middle of the road with this ship. I definitely am not keeping it. I think it's a fantastic ship for those who like that kind of Drake style. Um, I know it's grown on a couple people, but for me, when I first got into the game, I wanted it because I thought, oh, hey, look, that's another Star Wars ship style that I like. But flying it, I think it flies a little bit better than a Connie as far as like rotationals and stuff like that. But I just don't want it. So that's my take on it.
We need a
Let's
reason
hit.
for it.
Yeah, yeah. We need a real reason for using it. Some people will just say, "Well, I just want to fly that class of ship," and that's fine.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do. All right. Well, Shadow, what's your opinion on the Corsair?
Personally, it's a good ship. Don't get me wrong, but it's something that I will pass on and wait for it in game if I want to get it. The main thing that it needs for it to be a exploration ship is a medical station, and there is none. It needs it if it's going to be an exploration ship. But mostly, I feel that that ship is going to be used for another purpose other than exploration.
Oh yeah, you know it is.
Yes.
It's going to be used for an
Hmm.
attack ship
Yes.
quite frequently.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, on my take on it, it's a good ship to fly, to learn with, to do some things, but as far as me purchasing it, no. I will wait for it in game, and then I may not even touch it. Who knows?
Mm.
There may be something that may prompt me to purchase it in game and use it in another area like Pyro, but Stanton, no. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. That's all I got on that one.
Well, the way I see it, it's hard to like right now because the state that we're in, there's not much to do with it. Um, the events that we have take up most of what we do in the game right now, which aren't going on right now, but when they do go on, what can you fit in there that's going to help you with these events? Not much. Um, you might take it into Xenothread or something to throw your boxes in. Haul your crew around to point A to point B, but it's not that ship isn't great at any singular thing, and that was its purpose. It's supposed to be an okay all arounder, with a lot of firepower, and it flies decently in a straight line, and and for that alone, it makes it not really that appealing to a lot of people at the moment, because it just doesn't, for the game right now, it's just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just kind of like, it's there. You can kind of use it for whatever you want, but it's the ship that you take out when you're not really sure what you want to do in the game, but you want to be prepared for most things. So, maybe, yeah, I don't know. I would bring it if I just couldn't make up my mind on what I wanted to do. And it's fair. Like that's literally all I ever do in the game recently is I kind of come in, I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And I usually bring the Cutlass just because the Cutlass was really good at that. And but now, I mean, it's like a bigger Cutlass to me with a little bit more firepower and
more garage space.
A bigger, back end, and you can kind of, you have more room for your rock, your STVs or your Ursa. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to take it really. I don't think you're going to take it into a dogfight. You're not really, unless that's all you got, But
right.
I agree with you, Shadow. It's a game, like it's a ship I've been waiting for a long time. But when you think about it right now, it's just not. It's not really geared towards anything that we can do right now. Maybe when piracy becomes a better thing, but even then, I don't even know how it's going to do with that. But yeah, I'm gonna buy it in game because it's probably gonna be fairly good price for what it is, and I'll probably end up melting that ship for probably something for in IAE. Maybe tomorrow's Argo day, so we'll see if the MCV is unveiled or not, and if it is, I'll probably melt it to that. Actually, it's probably more expensive than that. We'll see. We don't know the size of it yet, so.
Right. Yeah, we'll see.
I'll melt something else.
Yeah, not much else. The only other thing that was surprising to me about Drake is the fact that the only holo they had left was the Kraken.
Yeah.
And that's a ship we won't see for a while.
Right.
Just to be clear, it's one of those capital size ships. Don't expect to see that in the game for a while.
And it's Squadron 42 ship, isn't it?
I don't. Well, yeah, it probably is, but I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's adhered or strictly adhered to Squadron 42. It might be. But who knows? But yeah, that was pretty much all there was for Drake. There's pretty much everything else, your cutlasses and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot the other ship. The cutter. The cutter. Yeah. So honestly, I think the cutter is a better offering from Drake than the Corsair by mile. I think that the cutter is a fantastic intro ship. It is basically a smaller nomad. It'll let you trade. It'll let you move smaller vehicles. It'll let you go out on planets and do your thing. You can do like probably very low risk target missions with it. Cave diving, a bunch of stuff, and it's small enough. It's not expensive. I think the $60 entry barrier, which most games cost that. So that's my guess.
Well, after the 8th, it'll go to 60. Right now, it's 45 with the game package and a paint.
Oh yeah. That's
and
fair.
Lifetime insurance.
Yep, it's the best starter that we have at the moment, or ever had probably, and yeah, even with its price increase, it's
still a better value for sure. Because I mean, if you compare it to, so let's think about this. Before the cutter, you had effectively Auroras, Mustangs,
And 100s.
Avengers.
Avengers, and 100s. Out of those four, the best option, in my opinion, is an Avenger. I
Yes.
don't like because you only fight with a Mustang. You can do box missions with an Aurora and fight with it. And then the Avenger can do box missions, some trading,
Bounty hunting.
some pretty bounty hunting, stuff like that.
The
And
cutter's
then
not bad in a fight either. It's not the best,
yeah,
but when you compare it to the other starters, it's
Mm.
I would
It's pretty.
say it's right underneath the Avenger maybe.
hmm And that's before it's even probably what modified with new weapons and whatnot. So,
I love the
um,
100.
mhm.
I started with that ship, and the one main thing about that ship was that it could refuel itself. That was the main feature to that ship.
And now
Um,
that not even playing a while, how important is that refueling?
at this point, it's good because, I mean, right now, refueling with the Starfarer, I haven't done it since it came out. So I
Oh,
don't know all the mechanics and physics of it.
mhm.
And Joe and I tried it, and it was clunky, very clunky.
It feels
And
clunky. Yeah.
yeah, it needs some work.
hmm
But for when we're going to another area and we're going to pyro and things like that, refueling is going to be critical, and that needs to be uh fleshed out, polished, so
hmm
to be ready to go.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, but to get back with the cutter, if I was starting over, I would definitely get that ship.
100%.
I'm thinking about
I'm
getting it
totally.
now, but I'm waiting to see
Plain
what
and
else is
simple.
out there.
I starting over, I would get that ship.
Yeah.
I put a mule in it, and it's very tight. And the only way you can get in and out of that ship with the mule in it is to open the door, take the mule out, and then close it up. Other than that, you can't do anything. So if you're going to use that ship with a vehicle, PTV or STV.
Sure. You could probably fit a bike in if you landed it on the ramp and let the ramp push it up.
Yeah,
I think
so the
Joe
thing
tried it.
I did that on my stream when
Oh,
the cutter came out. That was the first thing I did was see how bikes fit in there. And what they want to do naturally is you obviously don't want to keep it on when you
mhm.
fly it in there. It gets in there just fine, but once you turn it off, it slides right out. There's no controlling it. And
Mm.
so what you have to do is you have to leave it on, close the ramp, and then turn it off.
Yeah, it'd be a nightmare.
And it's kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah. So the Nox
Yeah.
fits better. It
Sure.
fits a
Yeah.
lot better, but
Dragonfly.
yeah, it still does the same thing. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a pain in the ass. And
What about the hover quad?
I didn't get a chance to try the hover quad because I didn't have it.
Okay.
It wasn't for rent or anything at the time, and there was probably some other smaller vehicles we could have
Mhm.
tried, but
Yeah.
I think someone said the STV fits in there, but
Yeah, the STV and most definitely the PTV.
oh yeah,
PD, PTV will fit anywhere. Probably most
Right.
ships don't even take
Right.
vehicles.
Right. But
um,
go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah. That pretty much, I mean, wraps up Drake Day, the Cutter and the Corsair.
Hmm.
Um, then I guess moving on from there, the next day we had Origin Jump Works.
Hmm.
Nothing really new for Origin.
No.
Still disappointed we don't have the motorbike.
X1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want that sucker. It's the only thing from Origin I really, really want. Um, I don't really have much else to say on Origin. We'll go the other way this time. Joe, is there anything about Origin you wanted?
um, you know, I guess anything. I'm always looking for new ships from them. I want to see more in their lineup
Mm.
as like that do different things, and because we don't have much right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start seeing like some trade ships from them that specialize in a certain trade, but I don't know if that's probably not a part of them, but I don't know. It's probably asking too much. I think it'd be great to see like luxury trade ships. I think that'd be pretty awesome. But why not, right? But I don't know.
In lore, the 600i was originally a cargo ship. So, if they made a cargo variant of the 600i, that would be an interesting ship to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So, if they gutted the 600i and made it what it originally was, and they put that out there, I think that would be a really cool way to bring Origin back into that profession.
Because when you think about it, they could, as far as like trading is concerned and like cargo, it could be maybe they do the finer products out there, in trading.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be the ship that you use to, when you want to really take special care of your stuff, whatever you're trading. And it'd be like high end goods for like those VIP members out there.
Yeah.
But
No,
I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to see them bring back the actual 600 to what it was, and then make your decisions on it and see what it's like. But it would be it would be a ship that I would buy in game, a 600 cargo version.
Okay.
That's what I would do with that. Yeah.
Right on.
And I'm definitely hyped for the 600i rework. I'm gonna say it again. The
Well,
Explorer
actually,
version, I can't wait for that. So when it comes, it comes.
yeah. Actually, I'm gonna say that that's actually a good thing to bring up. Is as a reminder for everybody, the 600i is going through an intense remake, and they're doing two variants: the Expedition and the Touring. I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah.
And what I'm happy about is they're different variants. Like they're not the same ship twice. It is literally two different floor plans happening, and they get med bays.
Yes.
Can't tell you how much
Yes.
how excited I am for that. But
Right.
that's the only Origin ship I would actually own. By the way, I would not own
Mm.
the 890 Jump, and I would not own a 400i. But,
No. If I get an 890 jump, and it would be an in-game purchase, I need more systems to go to than just Stanton for an
fair enough.
890 jump.
Or more anomalies and stuff inside
Yeah.
Stanton.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's a pleasure yacht. So for me, my organization is transport. So that's one focus. And transporting people from one place to another and getting contracted to take them to another system, that would be the ship that I would do for a pleasure cruise. Other than that, I have no use for the ship.
Okay. All right. Joe, you got anything else? That?
Nope,
No?
not on that.
Um so the next day we migrate from Origin to Aegis. Now Aegis I think has the most ships in game. If I'm not mistaken, it's either Aegis or Anvil. One of the two
Uh,
has more ships.
They both
I'd
have a
say
lot.
they're very close to each other.
Oh, easily. I mean, so Aegis,
It's a lot of small ships. That's probably
yeah, a lot
why.
of fighters. Yeah, a lot of fighters on both sides, I think. Um, so Aegis has some really good combat ships. They're responsible for like eclipses, retaliators, um, sabers, gladiuses. Oh, the reclaimer. We can't forget that. But that's not a combat ship, but you get the point.
In-game
Um,
purchase.
yeah. The Aegis Redeemer, which was a player created ship or community created ship. And I think the Redeemer is actually a really good game or a really good ship. To be honest with you, I think if you're going to do
It
combat,
is.
that's if you're going to do combat, like especially ERTs and stuff like that. Yeah, use that Redeemer if you got a crew. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you need a
Um,
crew for that ship.
yeah. Oh, the Wardens, the Sentinels, the
Mm-hmm.
Harbingers.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 variants of that one.
Yeah.
Um, the Vulcan is still in Hollow, and there was 2 more in Hollow, and I can't remember them off the top of my head.
The Liberators with Anvil.
Yeah, Liberation of Anvil, but for Aegis, I can't remember to be off the top of my head because it's just there's so many there. Honestly, I can't be disappointed with Aegis because I think that they make excellent combat ships. My favorite's the Gladius when it comes to their combat ships for light fighters. That's just me. Yeah. Shadow, do you got any favorite Aegis ships?
My favorite Aegis, I have to say, is Redeemer. I've flown it. I enjoyed flying with a crew in it, and it's devastating if you got the right upgrades on it. It can do some serious damage.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's see here.
a Carrick took a lot of damage from the Redeemer with a full crew. And you and I were flying in it, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
And that thing did some damage on a Carrick. So it is a formidable ship.
Oh.
Other than that, I do believe that one, and I'm gonna go with the Eclipse as one of my favorite Aegis.
Mm.
Very,
Okay.
very powerful ship.
Okay. Right on. All right, Joe, what
Um,
do you got? Oh, I'm sorry, Shadow. I apologize.
no, I'm done. I'm
All
done.
right. Joe, what
Well,
you got?
I pulled up the list here just because I had to. They got again. They have so many ships that I had to be reminded. The they have so many great ships. Like I just like you, I like the Gladius because that's the gold standard. So it's got a lot of nice polished features. It's always fun to see the finished features for that. And the animations and stuff are great, and it's one of the best fighters. You got the Javelin. That's just everybody. The hype around that is pretty high, you know, and yeah, we've seen it so much now. We've taken tours. Yeah, so that's definitely up there. The Redeemer is always great because in my head I just love the fact that it's a community created ship. It looks it's so unique, and it's a great multi-role or multi-crew ship.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have everybody in there just manning everything and destroying everything in your way. The Hammerhead is it's one of the most interesting ships that we have in the game, but it is pretty old and I think it's gotten stale. But as far as, its involvement in like missions, it's always fun taking those down, with your friends. It's always fun fully crewing that thing, flying it around, terrorizing people. The Reclaimer is amazing. I think it's them adding a mission in the game recently with the last couple patches or so.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
the organ
Yes.
trading, with the missions for that
And
thing.
the Black Kite.
Absolutely.
Black Kite mission.
In the Black Kite mission, those two are absolutely amazing missions. One of the funnest to do at the moment.
And the Reclaimer Derelict site. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great it's a great point of interest for a lot of different stuff. So I'm glad they're using that more in game. There's the Nautilus. That there's a whole lot of hype around that thing. The mine,
Yeah.
the mine layer, and it's got the drones and stuff. So I mean, it's another one we're impatiently waiting for. The Vulcan is going to be super important when it comes out.
I can't wait for it.
Repairing and refueling. It's definitely another ship we need. And then there's the super rare Raven that Shadow loves, and I like it too.
Oh, you just
I mean-
made me cream my jeans. Stop.
I'm not gonna lie. If it wasn't rare, I would probably use it a lot for like a racing ship. I think it'd be really fun.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely not the fastest out there, but it's
a beautiful ship.
It's nice.
Oh my god.
Another great ship is the Eclipse, just because it's one shot, one kill. It's size 9 torps. You can't not like that. There's a lot of people that just don't like the inside and how it looks. They don't like how it reminds them of a bomber. And then there's the other people who love it exactly for that. And I'm one of those people.
I don't like cockpit view. That's it.
Yeah. The Vanguard series is a lot of people's favorite in the game because it just does so well
It's
in
so
a lot of different
good.
things.
The thing rips.
You got the Avengers series. That's a great little starter ship for everybody.
And I'm going to say, if there was no cutter, I would take an Avenger Titan to be my starter ship if I started over again. Due to the fact that it's such a multi-purpose ship, it's more beneficial than any other starter ship to begin with. And don't get me wrong, I love my 100 because it did what it had to do when I was starting. But if I started over and there was no cutter, I would take the Avenger Titan hands down. Best starter ship in the game. Above the cutter.
We'll see its lasting power. See how long people are excited about that. But yeah, that's all I got to say about everything. That kind of wraps it up, other than like the Idris and the Retaliator. But
yeah, well, I don't really want to do much more with them. Not for a while. The following day, we ended up with the Alien Day. Aopoa, Banu, Asperia, Gatak. Yeah, it's all those. I thought there was another one for some reason.
I'm gonna say, sorry to interject. The Blade, beautiful ship, love it. I have it in game, and fell in love with it. Love that ship. God, that ship is beautiful. The Cylon Raider, yes, hands down.
Yeah, I can see that. I think what you're about to point out, Joe, here is the Santaco II. Why? I'm surprised that hasn't been put in the game yet, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I figured that would have been one.
I'm sure it's got its reasons, but it being the most one of the most maneuverable ships in the game. I think it's supposed to be the fastest. I could be wrong. It's supposed to be the best in a couple different areas. I just don't remember the whole story about it. I'm sure somebody could, maybe correct us on that. But Yeah, I'm not really like, as far as the Santaki Eye, I'm not really like excited for it, just because it doesn't really. It looks very similar to that other one. What was the other one called? I'm trying to.
Remember the
A
Cartual?
Raylan?
Cartual, yeah, that one. It's
Yeah.
so similar to that. It's just the green version. I just call it the green version, and it's I don't know. It's really unique, but we've had it for so long, and I've messed around with it for so long. It's just there's
Mhm.
nothing we can do with it yet that really interests me.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think Aopoa is going to have a strong foothold. Like we don't have it. I argue we don't have enough alien ships for each manufacturer yet.
It's too hard for
And
them
that
right now.
it is. This is what they said. I think the one that I would love to see more of is Gattac, especially their trading ship.
Oh yeah,
That was introduced in 2014, or excuse me, hello, 2020, 2021, I think. Somewhere it wasn't
2021.
2019. Yeah, and nothing else have come of it, which is fine, I guess, because they've been doing other things. But there really wasn't anything with the alien ships other than me wanting the Gattac Raylan.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited for that one just because it's the first ship that's alien, that's truly like alien, that actually specializes in some sort of trade. And there's so much new advancements as far as like tech and stuff on the inside, and it'll be like nothing we've seen before in the game. And yeah, I mean, once that comes out, it's just gonna be super cool to see it.
yep.
Cargo refactor
Le-
too, along with that ship.
oh yeah.
How that ship functions with the, I don't know where we're gonna be at with the cargo refactor. By the time that ship comes out, we'll probably be done with the cargo refactor. It'll probably be out. Um, but yeah, I think that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah. Uh, Today was Anvil Aerospace. Now, Anvil is another one of those manufacturers that produces a lot of fantastic ships. And in fact, I would argue that they have three now best ships in the game. Anvil today unveiled their new Pisces variant, which was the medical rescue variant. And I think this is a fantastic addition to the game. Um, Especially if you're a Carrack owner and you want to do medical, you can run a Carrack and then use your shuttle, your C8R, to go help somebody on a planet while somebody mans the Carrack. If you're a multi-crew player, if you haven't org big enough to do so.
Something I want to
Outside,
point out real quick
yeah,
is that they also said that for people who have 890 jumps and Carracks, they get $5 coupon off for
that's right.
for the new Pisces. So if anybody that's watching has any of that,
Mhm.
go check your email.
Yeah, double check your email now.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad it's a fantastic ship. Like I love the Pisces. It is your Star Trek shuttle. You know what I mean? Like there's no way around that. It is your Star Trek shuttle.
True.
And it is a fun ship to fly. It's just one of those things that if you haven't flown one, please get one in game, or at least an CX8 in game, and just go have at it. But the rescue, smart decision, because now that you have friends that you can fly with your friends on the shuttle, or if you meet, or you just fly it, go do bunkers. If you're injured, you just lay down, and if you need better assistance, at least that bed, it's a tier 3 bed, lowest on the totem pole, at least it will get you stable enough to get to a hospital.
And when you
Yes.
think
That's the important.
when you think about what an ambulance does, it's just
Mhm.
meant to keep you stable until you get to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I think it's such a brilliant idea.
Direct,
CIG.
direct competition
The
to the Cutlass Red.
the working fridge with medical supplies, water and
Yes.
food.
Yes. And red pins and oh
Yeah.
my god.
You can take stuff out and put stuff in, and it actually seems like it's working. Now I need to go back to the Redeemer and see if that fridge works. Because if it doesn't,
Probably not.
they need to get their shit together. Because how the hell can they get the Pisces to work and not the Redeemer?
Oh my god, yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I have a great impression with C8R. I bought one. So
Hands down.
And the C8R is on the screen right now for anybody that doesn't know, even though it's a little covered up by my webcam. Sorry about
Yeah.
that, guys.
Hands down. One of the best go-to ships. 43 seconds.
The reason why everybody likes this ship is because it's our really one and only true shuttle ship that we have. I mean,
Yeah.
we have the MPUV, cargo and personnel, but
no
it definitely,
quantum.
yeah, there's no quantum, and I mean that is a dedicated shuttle, you know, but it's definitely not. As of right now, we just don't have, you know, any use for that until the whole, you know, exploration
Transport
kind of
route.
exploration. Once it kind of, you know, what I think once Pyro opens up, there's going to be use for the MPUV a little bit more, and we might start seeing other variants. And according to sources with leaks and stuff, there is another variant, and I think it's in Squadron 42. It's the mining. It's got a mining laser on it, so there's a mining variant, and there might be a couple others too. I think there totally could be a medical variant of that, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's a few other ships I think people should have on their radar when it comes to Anvil. Arrow, I think an Arrow competes very well with the Gladius.
Yes.
Hurricane is also an amazing fighter. It's a two-person fighter. CIG has this thing about putting turrets on top of ships, fighters especially. The Carrack, if you want a big ship, if you have the capital and you have an org, I think that Carrack obviously is a good choice to run a crew on. And you got a medical bed, you got a hangar, you got a shuttle bay for the Pisces, and they have also the Hornets as well. Um, the Hornets aren't bad. I would argue that Aegis's fighters versus the Hornets, I think Aegis kind of wins that battle, in my opinion. You have a Hawk, um, and you have a Terrapin. Now, Terrapin is supposed to be a scout ship, Pathfinder. And the problem with the Terrapin, though, is there's no use for the radar yet. And that's kind of a hiccup. And they also, I argue that Anvil also has the best drop ship right now, and that's the Valkyrie. So, Shadow. Oh, go ahead, guys. I apologize.
Oh no, just real quick, I was gonna say that the Terrapin's a good tank. It's a great tank for doing, like, if you needed something with good shields, like that's a good one.
Okay.
Just as a drop ship or something, you know, temporarily.
I think on the Hollows it's Legionnaire, Liberator, and the Crucible.
Yeah, it was a Crucible.
Yeah, it was Crucible. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Liberator is going to be a big ship for Pyro.
Maybe.
As a transport ship?
I don't know. It may not be for Pyro because there's a good possibility that the Liberator won't come out, in my opinion, until we have a third star system. Okay. I think this is the timeline will work that way. Not that it won't come. Like, I don't see it coming out during Pyro's lifetime yet. Not until we get a few more ships out of the way.
That is a long time.
Yeah, and we'll see. It may be Liberator may be one of those things that won't even touch the pipeline until, well, hell, Squadron 42 gets released. Probably. I don't know. I'm just being hyperbole. But yeah, I mean, Anvil's a great manufacturer. I don't really have anything else to say on them.
I'm good.
Yeah, Joe, you guys got anything?
I mean, yeah, like we've been saying, Anvil has a really, really good lineup. Yeah, it's just they don't have too many ships that I would say no to,
Right.
and yeah, there's a lot to be excited about in their future lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Other than that, I don't have much else to say about them.
Well, so tomorrow we'll get Argo, Consolidated Outland, the Grey Cat, and the Kruger.
Mm.
Now, Shadow, I'm gonna let you lead this one because I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about what you would love to see Argo have.
This guy right here. You guys can see it on my desktop.
You know what
This
I want to
guy.
see. That one right there, the SRV. If we had working tractor beams in the game for ships, that one would drop in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I can't say I what I would really love for them to do, and you and I talked about this, Mike, and Joe as well. They're so close to finishing that ship. If they put that on the floor where you could walk in and tour it before it was released, like they did the Vulture, that would be the pinnacle of Argo right there.
They need to do that more often with whatever ships that they got finished. If there's an event coming up and they're, the ship isn't ready because it's for the sole purpose that the mechanics aren't out yet, and I think they got a couple, then, maybe more than a couple. But yeah, why not let us go take a look at it and walk around it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. I think it's a brilliant idea, actually. I think having ships that you can tour, because that'll incentivize a couple things too. That'll incentivize people who are wanting it. They'll be able to see it and like, oh yeah, I want this and buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Javelin. It's not finished, but it might be actually.
I think it is.
But they even if something's not finished, if they only have like a certain portion, like what they did with the Javelin tour, they only have it that within a certain, they have boundaries. You can't go through certain doors.
Mm-hmm.
You can only see kind of, I guess, like the main hub of where everything's at.
Where the most activity is.
There's a lot they could do with even unfinished ships to show it off.
Yeah. The reason why we don't have an Idris interior, I think, is because of some Squadron 42 spoilers, stuff like that.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah. I think the Idrises are done. That's why they're in game right now, as a combatable ship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's another one out there like that. But anyway, yeah. Back to the thing on hand. Argo. I think Argo is probably the best industrially looking ship manufacturer there is. I mean, there's only Misk and them, but Misk is more of a hauler kind of scenario, not really even a industrial. But with Argo, you cannot mistake what they are. You look at Argo, you're like, oh yeah, they're definitely some sort of construction or industrial stuff. I mean, the raft. Let's take the raft for example. The raft, I envision, isn't really a cargo ship, more of a cargo barge mover. So, for instance, if you're those who've been in the Navy, you've been to barge yards or fleet yards and stuff like that, where they have those big cranes where they probably move big cargo tanks or cargo trailers, containers. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. So that's what I think of the raft. When I see that, that's what comes to my mind.
It's gonna be a flying crane for a lot of people.
Crane. So guys like me who's flying a whole sea, they'll use those guys. all the time.
You're not going to use it for trading, you know, but
Nope.
you'll
No.
use it to move things around.
Mhm.
And to be fair, I think that's why the raft was introduced for the coming of the cargo refactor.
Yep. And I think the fact that I think around that time they really didn't know when the cargo factor would be ready. I think they had around that time they probably were like, we might be ready now. and then maybe some stuff happened and they're like, well, maybe we
We
should
are
wait.
not ready.
So I feel like it kind of teeter-tottered on being ready and not ready several times. Same thing with salvage maybe, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
What about you, Joe? Is there anything in Argo that you were particularly?
everything I want more. There's not enough. I don't know why there isn't. There's just not enough ships by them. I don't understand. Like it makes more sense. Like them going RSI for that big mining ship. I know people voted for it, but to me, I was like,
I wish it
Argo,
was
man.
Argo.
Like we need more Argo. Like I need more orange.
Yeah.
I need a big ass orange ship. That's what I need.
I think that there should be a concept from Argo for a ship repair and a base building ship from Argo.
I would
That's
love it.
industrial.
If we had like a smaller Pioneer by them.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Please.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Or even like kind of like how the SRV is it's got a tractor beam. There would be a RV, RRV, which would be a repair remote vehicle or something like that, where you float around in like something that looks like an SRV around a ship to repair it remote, like from another ship, and it just has more capabilities of fixing things as opposed to like the hand mineable that we're getting
Yeah.
or the
Oh,
hand
the
used.
a repair recovery vehicle.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Again, that
honestly,
would go ahead, Joe.
anything industrial, it just makes
Yeah.
sense for Argo. And
Mhm.
yeah, I was confused on why they picked Drake for the mule. I don't know why that wasn't Argo.
I got a conspiracy theory on that
We
one.
already know you. Go ahead and say it.
I don't think the audience knows. I think that in lore, somebody should have worked for Argo, got mad at them, got hired on at Drake, and stole the plans for the mule, which would have been called something else, like the mare or the donkey or something, or the Don Quixote is what I'm gonna call it. And then went over to Drake, and they just renamed it the mule because 100% the mule is an Argo designed vehicle. It is not a Drake designed vehicle. There is no way, you can't convince me.
I agree. The canopy is too Argo.
Too Argo, man.
It's too Argo. But
Way Argo.
um
But what I think they should do is I think they should release an Argo version of the mule in game. And it'll be a mule. It'll
Yeah.
just be a mule. It'll just say Argo and have a different name on it, like I don't know, like the what's the Argo elephant.
the pachyderm or
Oh,
something like that.
something. Oh, yeah, the next is Consolidated Outlands. Let's see now. You're on there. There they are.
Yeah, it took me a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So they also don't have a lot,
No.
for sure.
Pioneer takes up all of that. You know what?
Absolutely.
Honestly, I don't care for Consolidated Outlands other than the Pioneer. And you know what? If I just want them to release the damn Pioneer. That's it. Just work on that. Don't worry about any other. Don't come out with any new ones. You know, and unless it actually has a use like the Pioneer. The hover quad's okay. Mustangs don't. I never really cared about. The Nomad's okay. Like they got a lot of okay ships. You know.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I really liked the hover quad when it first hit. It was a really cool idea of a personal transport.
Mhm.
But later on, it it's gotten some big issues since it came out. And to me, it needs a rework on the mechanics of it and the stability. Because, I mean, right now, I'm just going to say it. The hover quad is the hover death trap. It blows up quick.
Does it really?
Yes.
I don't use it.
Yeah.
I've ridden it maybe twice because somebody let me borrow it. But that's it.
Well, I did a video on it earlier in the year, and that thing held up from an orbital fall.
A lot of
now-
things do.
Yeah,
the
but
the
now
like the
I
dragonfly
wouldn't
and the
touch
Nox.
it. Yeah, but I won't touch it now because I was going to the snake pit and I kept blowing up on it because of the way once it hit, it would blow. No. It needs some love. But
That sounds
Yeah.
like a bug.
I know there's other
That
priorities.
sounds like it's just
and-
you. Stop
Oh,
hitting
thanks
things,
a
man.
lot.
Stop hitting things, and maybe it won't blow up.
Thanks, thanks a lot.
Get good, man. Come on.
Really?
The hover
Dude.
quad's not the issue; it's you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll remember that.
Well, I
No.
agree with you, Joe. I think that Consolidated Outlands, like I don't like their Mustangs at all. I do not like them. I've never liked them. I chose an Aurora over a Mustang when I first started the game. That tells you how much I didn't like their looks. A Pioneer, it seems like they're trying to be RSI and outdo Argo in construction with industrial by going the biggest thing you can do with industrial.
It's
at once.
confusing. What the hell are you trying to be? Because you have your light fighters, then you have heavy construction, and then you have a racing for the hover quad racing. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell are these guys doing?
Duty.
Doing, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see them make I want to see like a comeback. Like, I would
Yeah.
love for them to come out with like a really good fighter. It doesn't have to be the best, but at least another contender up there with like, the Hurricane or like the Gladius or the Arrow or something. I don't understand the Pioneer. I don't know why they decided to go that way. They're kind of sporadic, but I don't
If
know.
they're going to compete in the combat space, or if they're going to compete in more ship space, Consolidated Outlands needs to stick with the design they did with the Nomad. Because that really is Consolidated Outlands now. I mean, that's just the design language is. Because if you go look at the Mustangs design language is definitely a replica of what their RSA-I looks like in a lot of other ways. At least in the design language. What are you looking at?
Oh, Finding
Grey
Grey Cat, because I think this is one of the only other ones that's pretty
Yes, the next one.
good to look
Yeah,
at.
Grey Cat's land vehicles, STV, PTV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
then the Rock.
Oh shit.
And Rock.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet. Why not? Like, I will probably see that as like a holo maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
What's that?
PTV.
Yeah, PTV remake.
The rework, yeah.
Yeah, I got to say though, the Rock, awesome. I love the
Yes.
Rock.
Oh
Yes.
no.
I don't.
What's the alternate to the STV? The UTV?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one I meant for the holo. We might see that one.
Oh.
The new rework for the PTV, I'm probably not. I don't think so. I don't even think we're
Yeah,
gonna. We
But the
might get that with the
UTV
racetracks. I don't know.
Yeah, but the UTV is in production. Well, it may not be in production, but that is coming.
Hmm.
And that is the brother of the STV.
Hmm.
Yeah. The
And it looks cool.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
Rock is a great mining vehicle. Pardon me, we have a lot of ships in this game. And then I'm not a fan of the Rock DS.
No.
I think there's no reason to have that because I don't see a benefit. It's
No.
you and a friend.
There's no benefit.
What guy? Yeah, I don't even think there's extra cargo space. I don't think you can have a second mining laser.
I really think it was CIG trying to force multi-crew gameplay when
Mhm.
like in the wrong area. That was the wrong way to do it. Like that was a bad decision. If that is what they were trying to do. I guess we don't know really, but that's the
Yeah.
only other explanation on why they might do that to
Yeah.
us. But it was a cruel joke. I hate it.
When you and Mike were introducing me to mining, and I was going to get the Rock DS, and you said no, don't. And I'm glad you stopped me from doing
I
it.
will shoot you. The STV, though, I will say it's the STV, fantastic edition.
Yes,
Absolutely a fantastic addition to Grey Cat.
beautiful, beautiful vehicle. Very fast, very nimble.
Kruger.
Um, good,
Mhm.
good vehicle handling.
Mhm.
I can't say anything bad.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I think the only other for tomorrow is Kruger Intergalactic, which they basically make snubs for lack of a better term. I think
Yep.
there's the Merlin, which is right there it is. The Merlin's a snub fighter that actually gets attached to the constellation, not the Taurus, the Andromeda.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
actually, I was really happy when we finally got the ability to detach that snub fighter. That made the
Doesn't it,
constellation Andromeda really good to use for,
doesn't
especially
it
for like
come doesn't
energies.
it come with the Aquila as well?
Yeah, I think it comes with Aquila as well. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think it does. I wish the Aquila was more than just a color repatch. Like I wish the Aquila had something else to it. Um, something more than just a different color scheme
Mhm.
and different window. Uh,
The
yeah,
cockpit is different. It's rounded, isn't it?
yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
And I got to say, I like the rounded cockpit more than the pyramid. So we could describe it. It's more than the pyramid square that you go to Taurus.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's a racing. Other than that, outside that snub fighter, the Archimedes, uh, Emerald, which is a racing ship, and Archimedes, which is a racing ship.
Mhm.
I ain't got much else to say about that.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Uh,
I'm good with Krugers.
we need more of them. I think they're good ships for what they are. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have an issue with them. I think there's no use for them right now, and maybe for a while. But
Fair enough.
I'm willing to see more of them in the future. Make more ships. I wish they would kind of branch out of the snub fighter thing a little bit. I'd like to see them
I
do
wish it would
some
make.
other stuff, but
I would like to see land vehicle racing ship or land vehicle racings from Kruger specifically. So I think they could make something pretty cool. It reminds me of, like speeders from Star Wars.
mhm.
That'd be really cool.
I think it'd be cool to
Uh,
have maybe like some sort of ship that like repairs snubs. You know, some sort of small repair ship that could, maybe even include the Pisces in there. So any sort of small shuttle or
like
snub, maybe it just a little
like
repair ship just for them. I don't know.
yeah. No, that's good. Kind of make the Argo and Kruger compete in that space to repair vehicles. That'd be cool. I like that. I like that. Yeah. So after Kruger and Argo and all them, we have Crusader.
Yes.
Crusaders um probably an interesting, they're kind of an outlier in a way, right? And they just introduced the Spirit series. So Crusader has currently in the game the one ship that can out transport goods that over any other ship, and that's the C2 Hercules. This is their biggest ship outside of in game currently. No, that's their biggest ship because I think the Genesis Starliner is just shorter, just by a little bit.
85 meters in length is the Genesis, and then 94 meters in length for Hercules.
Yep. So there's three variants on that Hercules. There's the C2, the M2, and the A2. There's a running joke in the game now when Jumptown goes around, friendly A2 incoming. And then you have the military variant, the M2, which is got a lot of guns on it. And then you have the C2, which is the cargo. That's a big ship. It's actually really cool. It feels like a big B50, not B52, but what am I thinking of?
Your C-17.
Yeah, it feels like one of those boys. I don't have anything negative to say about Crusader, to be honest with you. I like all their ships. My favorite ship, the MSR, Mercury Star Runner, is in there. Unfortunately, I've melted mine because there's a career upgrade coming with me in the game. So, then we have the E1 Spirits, which are on the other end of the spectrum. Currently, they're smallest ships, probably coming in at half the size, or half the length, I should say. And there's also 3 variants there: the A1 Bomber, the C1 Cargo Hauler, and the E1 Transport, which is makes sense for Crusader, to be honest. Crusader isn't just a combat place; it is also a trading place.
Yes.
Then Mercury Star Runner is a medium cargo data. You have the Ares Ion Starfighters. These are heavy guys. A lot of controversy around this one,
Yes.
especially the Ion.
Yes.
But they're great heavy fighters, especially if you're taking on hammerheads. I would definitely say yes. And then when Xenothreat, was it Xenothreat or Ninetales, where you have to get you go to Jericho Station and then you have to go over to
Xenothreat.
where Xenothreat. Thank
Xenothreat.
you. Yeah. Using an Ares fighter against the Idris that comes in is probably one of the smartest things you can do. Next to having some Redeemers cover you too.
When we get more capital ships in game, it'll make more sense to have one of these with you, and people will be less mad at CIG.
Well, I'm going to say this, and when I came into the game, this is when this ship came out. Okay? To me, that ship should have never, ever been brought into the game when it was.
I don't see why not.
Well, due to the fact that the only time you're going to go up against a capital ship is when you're doing those events. People were taking those ships out and one-shotting other players in bounties, and that's where the controversy came.
Yeah. It felt good. It was very satisfying. It was really, really fun. And but unfortunately it just wasn't what it was meant to be. And
exactly.
Everybody, at the time, nobody really understood that. Nobody wanted to understand it because they were having so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I really liked where it was, but I didn't understand why they changed it for the longest time. And then I finally watched them kind of explain it, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not mad anymore.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, the Ares series, those 2 ships are meant to roam in packs. Okay? And when you come up against an Idris, your Ares Ion is going to smash your shields. Your Inferno is going to rip the hull. That's what those ships were designed for. So in the where's it, the VRTs, the VHRTs, the very high risk, when you're going up against the Idris or something like that, that's when those ships are best utilized in Xenothreat. Other than that, that's the only time that they are really effective.
Well, I'll say this. I get really, I know those experiences really aren't that much right now. They don't happen too much, but when they do, I get really excited to pull these bad boys out. It's like let them have it. Yeah, it's exciting to be able to be in the right position for them to use them correctly.
I totally agree. But until we get more capital ships in there, okay, where going against them, that's when those ships are more utilized than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my thought. That's just my thought about it.
Okay.
I think it
That's
should have never been nerfed in the first place because it was a ship designed to do what it does: snipe and destroy.
I'm glad that they did as early as they possibly can to just nip it in the bud. It sucked in the moment, but I think most people are over it now.
well.
They've moved on.
I'm gonna put another ending on this, like not ending on this conversation between us, but in general. People do not realize that another balance for all the ships will be coming.
Sure.
And it will be a massive. And they're just waiting until they get a bunch of other ships in game and a lot of other systems figure it out. But armor is still a thing. Like ships have armor, and that's going to be a thing. Ships have shielding, and you can upgrade your shields, and those are all going to get rebalanced. And even in the latest Citizen Con, they talked about slowing down death in general.
Yeah.
So what that means is your ships are going to more often be disabled rather than destroyed.
Agreed.
And so, I love Crusaders. Back on subject on this. I love Crusader's design. They have the only ship out of Crusader that is not of the design is the Starliner. It's different, but that doesn't make it bad.
It's old though.
It's an old ship.
It's a
Yes.
very old design. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's
not
the very first of the Crusader line, besides the shuttles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
So-
it's just a good ship. I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's amazing and it's a beautiful piece of ship. Like I said, I think it's just not in line with the design language, but that's okay. It is a beautiful ship that I think does say Crusader. And I love all of Crusader stuff. I'm not disappointed with any of it. So
Oh, I can't wait to fly one. I'm just gonna say it.
It
That
looks
definitely won't-
like the
Yeah.
first retro ship that we have in game. Like if you were
I'm
going to
with
call any ship
Jared.
a retro ship, it would be the.
I'm
this
with
guy.
Jared. I'm with Jared on it. Where's my Genesis Starliner?
Gibbs Starliner.
I think I wouldn't be mad if they went in and updated the way it looked a little bit.
Yeah, they probably will. That'll probably happen. It's meant to be a massive passenger ship anyway, which is fine. It should, honestly.
What?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm looking at the concept images, and they have RSI paints and Covalex and Microtech for the Starliner. So it's
Yeah.
weird that it's made by Crusader, but it's gonna have like RSI
But
on it or something.
in the lore, if I'm correct, that the Genesis Starliner is Imperator 1.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So
Yeah.
it's a classic ship.
Okay. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Crusader because I don't think we're getting anything new. I don't even think we're
No.
going to get hollows for the Spirit series.
Maybe
And
not.
Tumbrel's, yeah, Tumbrel's the code for that day. And Tumbrel has land vehicles. Just kind of get it out there. So Misk is interesting. I've complained about some ships not matching some ships, like design languages. Misk is guilty of this for sure. But there's a lore reason behind that. It's because Misk, I believe, is a
Gian.
yeah, it's a thing with
Yeah, the Xi'an tech is a huge factor with Misk. I don't
Yeah.
remember why either, but I just remember that's a thing. And
Yeah.
like it, for example, the Reliant Sen and Mako and
Yeah.
The core,
Or
just
the
the
Star
Reliance
Wars B-Wings.
series. Yeah. The yeah, their components. It might not look like it on the outside, but on the inside, the components that they use are
Mm,
influenced by the. I think they work with this Xeon, like legitimately.
yeah. Yeah. I believe that is the case. So my ship that I'm most excited for is coming out of this line. It's the Hull C. I love the Hull A, actually. I think the Hull A is an amazing starting cargo ship.
Yes. Yes.
No
64
reason to have it
SCU.
right now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you just like cargo hauling and you're getting into the game, it's fine. I
Well,
think it's perfect reason.
Well,
Mike and I got the Hull A when it first came out, and we tried it. We loved it. It was it's a beautiful starter ship for cargo. But then I came up with I said, you know what? This ship is not for me because of the fact I am a more experienced cargo hauler. And for a starter, say coming from a Drake cutter now to a Hull A is a step up. And then you're going to go to your freelancers, which hold more. A freelancer max holds more than the Hull A. So your next step from there is going to be the next hull and keep going up from there. So for a good starter cargo ship, your Hull A is your best bet.
my only point from my earlier statement was that I mean, commodities right now are just not really much of a thing.
No.
We need Tony Z to bring his magic into the
Yeah,
game, so that
there's
way, you know, we can start trading again, and it actually feels like something.
yeah. No, I agree with you there. Like I mean, no matter what ship you fly, that's what's going to be. But I don't think I can agree with that you can't use the Hull A. I mean, you technically can.
No, you
You can
can.
make a
You
profit.
can.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But the whole series is where my brain is, and the Odyssey too. So,
Yep.
I am looking forward to the Odyssey.
The Expanse?
Uh,
No.
no, the Odyssey.
Okay.
I think the Expanse will be really cool too, especially for miners. But the Odyssey, because it is definitely the next one that's coming out to compete with the Carrick. Remember, last we seen it, it was actually in white box phase.
I believe so.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think
it
it was
can't
in.
even compete with the Carrick. I feel like they're completely two different ships. And
Yeah,
they come out and say it was like a Carrick killer or something like that. And I feel
Yes,
like that
yes.
was
somebody is like, that's a
that
stupid statement.
And it should
completely
never have been said
don't
because the community went crazy on
they're
it.
starting shit, and it just don't advertise. So they come out with the whole ship model of like, oh, not one ship is we don't want like, what was it, the way they want to do things with their ships, they don't want to like come out and say, oh, this is better completely, you know, or this one's better. So I think for them to come out and say that, and then it's like they're backtracking on their little statement. They probably just wanted
Yeah,
to make it fun competition, but it kind of goes back on what they're trying to do for the ships.
yeah. That's why I say compete, not kill,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not going to do that, because the reason you have competition on things is because one thing offers something slightly different, or one thing offers. Sorry,
Yeah, you're fine.
sorry, the dog's chasing the cat.
No.
The So when I say the Odyssey is competing with Carrick, it's competing because of size, multi-crew, and it has different features that I think that would go well with it, as opposed to having a Carrack. But I think the Carrack's amazing for a lot of other reasons too. The Carrack has more cargo space right off the bat. It already has a medical bay in it. I don't know if the Odyssey does or not. I like the garage of the Carrack. I like the Carrack ship, and as a matter of fact, I think the Carrack is probably a better battleship or a broadside cruiser than that of the Odyssey will be. So I think combat wise, I think the Carrack's going to outwin the Odyssey. But that's why I say that. And the beautiful hulls. I love the hulls. It's just I'm space trucking. It's my American truck simulator in space.
I'm always in
Right.
awe. Like I'm looking at the concept images right now, and I'm just in awe, especially the whole D, like, or the E. I mean, uh,
That E.
they
Oh my
have the
god.
concept image of just insane amount of external cargo with the. They even got the ads on the side for whatever company wants to sponsor that. I mean, if we ever get that functionality in the game where you can actually like run ads on the side of your ship to gain a little bit of passive income, maybe I think that'd be unneeded, but it'd be just another cool little side hustle to have.
Yeah, I mean that'll pay for fuel expenses. That's what that'll do.
Maybe, yeah, yeah.
Or or hauling the cargo will pay for your fuel expenses, but the advertisement's what makes you all the money in the world.
Could be. Who knows?
And to be honest, I'm surprised they didn't do a Hall B instead of a Hall C first. Considering the
There's
fact that,
there was a
huh?
reason for that. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
my hypothesis is that the Hall C and the Hall B, or the Hall A and B, are pretty much the same chassis, but the tail end of it will be a bit bigger, including the cargo spots. That's my thought. The Hall C and the Hall D, same thing. They're the same primary chassis, but the tail end of it again is just a bit bigger. Then the Hall E is a whole other ballpark. But that's just my thought. I'm not sure. Maybe, right? It's a possibility.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of have an I think I feel like I remember a little bit about what they said about it, but I don't want to butcher it. Don't want to spread
that's fine.
misinformation and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's interesting though.
Again.
So hold on, I'm looking at the
Mhm.
crew. It says the size crew of the whole E and the D are the same.
Right. So maybe my idea shifts up. The Hall E and D are the same chassis, whereas the Hall
Mm,
C is not, but the Hall A and B are.
I don't know. Don't know.
I think it's a possibility, but I don't think it's reality. The only other thing that I mean, the Expanse is a pretty cool idea. I kind of am excited for that.
I
And
don't know what to
freelancers,
think of the Expanse and the Odyssey yet. I
sure.
just because we don't know enough about it.
Yep.
They didn't talk about it enough, and I don't see. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'll probably end up buying it when it comes out. It'll probably end up being pretty cool.
Right. Right. But yeah, that's my take on my. And I will say this: their racers are pretty cool. The razors,
Oh yeah, they are. Mm-hmm.
I, I like the razors. I think Misc razors are really cool, really good. Um,
I agree.
yeah, I have nothing else on Misc. The last, unless Shadow has anything to say on Misc,
Up, I'm all good.
right on. Um, RSI is the last one, and I know a lot of people love. There's a few ships that are hot topics with the RSI. One of them being the Polaris, um, the Perseus. Um, let's see what else they got. They got there's one more that
The
they have.
Galaxy.
Yeah, that's been a hot button topic definitely over this last month or so. But there was another one. Wasn't there another RSI vehicle?
The
Apollos.
Orion,
Oh yeah,
the
the Apollos.
Apollos.
I forgot they were RSI. Holy shit. I
Yeah,
don't know why I
Apollos.
keep thinking the Apollos are like some other manufacturer, but
It feels like it.
yeah, it feels kind of off, but it's not out of the picture. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Apollo series, that's what I'm mostly excited for. The Orion, I'm not excited for that really just cuz I know it's going to be
It's gonna be a massive thing to deal with.
yeah.
Um, course, the Constellation series. That's their best-selling ship, guaranteed. You know, of course, they have the dreaded Auroras that I hate.
I don't think they're that bad. They're okay.
And I think they're terrible. I think if you had no other options, I would take them over a Mustang. Um, but so as far as unveiling a new ship, it'll probably be the rumored Galaxy. I think there's a good chance that is it.
Yeah.
From my understanding, as the rumor mill, let's be clear here, guys, the rumor mill has stated that it is a ship between a Perseus and a Polaris. And what my hiccup here is that a Perseus is a constellation name, and a Polaris is a star type. And a galaxy is much bigger than both a Polaris and a Perseus.
True.
I don't like that. I think they're cool names, sure, but that really hits me in a spot. Like an Aurora is a planet side thing, a constellation is Perseus constellation. You see what I mean here? I think that they have a theme going, but I think that their theme needs to be readjusted properly. But that'll never happen at this point. But I do like design of RSI ships. I think that between Anvil, Aegis, and RSI, I think the best looking of them, as far as large ships go, I think Aegis kind of wins with the most ships that look the best. I think Anvil has the better looking bigger ships. And I think RSI has what you would expect military and exploration ships to look like. That's just my opinion. Oh, and by the way, the Ursa Rover, it's the best land vehicle in the game.
It's very nice. The Ursa rover always reminds me of the rover from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Mantis, that one's about to have it's about to be reinvigorated here soon with piracy going up and the soft death mechanic.
Yeah, that's very true.
They're yeah, it's the only ship of its kind right now. So it's definitely going to be used heavy, I think.
Absolutely. The trick I think with pirates a lot of the time are they set in between trade lanes, or they send somebody down. Like if say for example you go to any moon that has a trading spot, like you go down, you sit down, somebody will sit down with like a Drake Cutlass, for example, and just watch you go in, you buy your stuff, and you take off, and then they try to embargo you or blockade you. Next thing you can do is blow yourself up, fight them, pay them, and that's one way to get you. The other way to get you is with the Mantis. They'll block a trade lane as you're flying through away from where you bought something. They'll hit you at a trade lane with that, and you'll stop. So what you have to do is you either turn around to get away from them, or you do preventative, and you fly in a weird. You fly to like another moon, stop in between, and then turn to where you're going to go, and avoid that. But pirates are going to become. I will say this. I think piracy is going to become really innovative here soon. I think that we're going to have a wave of pirates that are going to get really smart about how they're going to deal with extorting people. So, real interesting scenario happening. But, yeah, I think the Galaxy is going to be the next thing to be unveiled. And there's not much more. I would love a Perseus or a Polaris, but I don't know if I want to sacrifice the Odyssey for the Polaris. But I think the Polaris won't be out until 3-4 years from now.
Yeah. I agree. The
I think those will come with dynamic server meshing, not static.
Well, yeah, it'll be 3 years from now for sure. Yeah, because I don't think we'll get the dynamic server meshing till later. But as far as RSI goes, Joe, what's your favorite RSI ship?
Right now, the Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the Polaris. I just don't have it. I'll probably end up borrowing a friend's. I'm not really into that kind of gameplay that the Polaris is going to provide, and same thing with the Perseus. I'm gonna have to see it in action for me to get hyped up of it. Those are the ships that are so far out that it's hard to get excited for. The hype really isn't too much there. I don't see the advantage of buying that ship at like one of these sales right now. You get nothing out of it at the moment. It feels like kind of like a waste of money. I would rather wait. Unless it's going to get like a major price bump, but I don't think the Perseus and the Polaris is going to really bump up too much in price from where it's already at.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised one of the Apollos, has not made its way into the game yet, since we now have medical gameplay.
They have drones, I think. One of them has drones, and that might be why. They might both have drones. Yeah, so that might be why. I don't know. There could be other reasons, but I think that's the closest out of any of the other ones to being done. It's the Apollo series, and then we'll see where the Galaxy is, because with CIG wanting to release ships relatively soon after they're announced, that's like their whole new thing now. So I'm hoping that stays true with the Galaxy. It'd be nice to see whatever that thing is. Hopefully it comes out. It's not too big of a ship from what we can see from the ship models that have been leaked out. But that's one of those things where we really just don't know the true specs of it and what its actual role is. So I guess depending on what we're going to learn when it's unveiled, we'll get a better view of how far it might be out.
Yeah, I think it was smart to say right now to temper your expectations for the Galaxy. Don't assume anything. Just go in with a blank mind and just see what it is. Don't do anything else. And I mean that, because if you expect it to be something in a certain way, you're going to probably be disappointed. And I think Xylo pointed that out, and he's like, the kind of leaks that came out about it will end up disappointing people.
But it is modular, so you can expect some sort of variety with it, and versatility with it at least. So it should fill a couple roles for some people out there. So I think it will appeal. Whatever it ends up becoming, I think it'll appeal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I totally forgot what I was going to say there, but yeah, that's it for me, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, Shadow, do you got anything to say about RSI stuff, or got any favorite ships from RSI?
If I was going to get another RSI ship, my favorite was the Taurus. I have to say the Taurus was my favorite ship. As far as concepts go, I would want a battleship. And I think if I was going to get a battleship, I would get the Polaris. Other than that, that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Scorpius. The Scorpius. The Scorpius was a cool ship to fly.
I think it's a fun thing to fly. Yeah, 100%.
It was fun. It was fun. Not married to it, just like you and I were talking about before.
Yeah.
But when it came out, it was different. It was cool. You definitely have to have a second person flying that ship with you for it to be majorly effective.
It's like the Hurricane, kind of.
Yeah. And other than that, those were the two ships that I loved from RSI, but I do want a Polaris for a battleship. And that's all I got.
Right on. Yeah. Beyond that, there's Best in Show, which
PTV
celebrate-
skins. And
You
PTV
know it's the
skin.
carrot.
along with that, I want to say I think the finale, right after
Yeah.
the Best in Show, I think because they did come out and say that they are going to have the racetracks ready for IAE, and I'm assuming that's going to be the finale. And since the PTV skins are probably coming out with the like the free ones, coming out with the Best in Show, I think it's safe to say that they'll be out for the finale. Because I was thinking when they said that they were going to be there for IAE, I was like, how are they going to fit those tracks in there with all the expo halls still filled with ships? But it would make sense to put that as the finale, you know? So that's when it'd be empty.
Second. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was it.
Yeah.
That's all I had to
Yeah.
say about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all good, man.
Yep. The only other thing to tell people to check out is the IAE videos that come out every day. I also recommend going back and watching the classic Whitley's Guys videos. I think there's 2 years worth of them before now.
More than
and there's
that.
one. Yeah,
They go
it's
back quite a
one for
while.
every day. Yeah, it's one for every day of IE, if I recall correctly. And they're fun. They're fun. They're absolutely fun. And this year's I loved. In the latest video, well, actually, in every video, you'll see the new ships be involved in some way, shape, or form. So I highly recommend go checking them out. They're fun. It actually brings. I argue that it brings a little bit of life to the galaxy, to the verse right now.
It's more lore, you know.
Yeah.
We're like in today's episode, they or no, it was yesterday's episode. When they showed the BMM in the background, that was the whole market and everything supposed to be in pyro, and it kind of shows you more of how the world is meant to be in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it kind of gives you more of a sense of what Star Citizen is, and I think that's
I'll
important.
be right back.
Yeah. All right. So, everybody who's listening out there in the world, remember, like, subscribe, ring that bell, get notifications. We try to get these out every Tuesday, Wednesday, and this is IAE Part 1, where Anvil Aerospace is the recent release on the floor. Tomorrow will be Argo. Don't know if anything's gonna be released. Probably not, but hey, we're happy to have it. So everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. This is Payne from IHLS signing off, and take it away, Joe.
All right, bye bye, everybody.